each ticket for a concert that is purchased through a certain ticket agency has a $7 surcharge added to the price of the ticket. In Part A, we're going to complete the table below to find an expression that describes the total cost in dollars of the ticket plus the surcharge if the cost of the ticket alone is $T. Find show the arithmetic to help you see a pattern. And then in Part B, we're going to evaluate the expression you found in Part A for T equals 65. What does your result mean in this situation? So let's, again, think about this situation before you start thinking too much about the math. In this situation, we're going to buy a ticket to a concert, but we know if you've ever purchased tickets to a concert through an online agency or something like that, there's usually some kind of an additional charge beyond just the price of the ticket. So let's start working on filling out our table here. So in the table, we're given the cost of the ticket before the surcharge, and then we're going to try to find the total cost once the surcharge is added on, because they tell us that the total price of the ticket is going to be the ticket plus the surcharge. So we see that word plus, so we know that the surcharge is going to be added to this price. So if the ticket costs $20, well, with the surcharge it's going to cost $27, right? Where does that $27 come from? Well, it comes from the fact that I took the cost of the ticket and then I added $7 to it to give me the $27. Well, what if the published price of the ticket is $25? What would be the total cost? So again, the idea of taking the $25 for the price of the ticket, and then we have to add on the surcharge fee, and so that would give us $32. And notice, because up at the top of the column here it tells us that these are in dollars, we don't necessarily need to write the dollar sign in front of each one of those numbers. In our next scenario, well, what if the price of the ticket was $35? Well, if it was $35, we add the surcharge to it, we would have to pay $42 for the total cost. What if it was a $50 ticket? I think you're seeing the pattern here. $50 plus the surcharge is going to give me a total of $57. Okay. So now what if we don't know the price of the ticket, but we still want to come up with a general expression for it? So here they're saying, well, let's call the price of the ticket T. What did I do to each of the prices of the tickets? Well, for each one of the problems here, we had the price of the ticket, and what did we do to it? We added 7 each time. So we're going to do the same thing with this generic T. We're going to take the T, and notice that I'm keeping it lowercase. They gave it to us as a lowercase t, so I have to keep it lowercase, plus 7. And notice how putting the little hook on the T helps me to distinguish it from a plus sign. That may be something that you want to do. If you make your T's and they look like a plus sign, just put a little hook at the end and that'll help you to keep track. So this would be our expression, T equals 7. Okay, that's what they were asking us to do. Find an expression that describes the total cost. So now we're going to do Part B. Evaluate the expression you found in Part A for T equals 65. Well, our expression that we found in Part A was T plus 7. And they want us to evaluate for T equals 65. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take that T. We're going to slip the T out and we're going to replace it with a 65. And to that 65 we're going to add 7. 65 plus 7 gives us 72. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean in this situation? If we look back to the problem, remember this was talking about the total cost for our ticket. This would tell us that the total cost of the ticket with the surcharge would be $72 if the ticket itself cost $65. Okay. So clearly answering the question with all of the information that was given in the problem. We always want to be sure that we communicate clearly when we're answering an application problem or a story problem. So this would be our final answer.